In a quiet European town called Hillsford, surrounded by old stone buildings, narrow streets, and a river that flowed like a silver ribbon through the center, lived a young boy named Ethan Ward. Ethan was 12 years old, lean, soft-spoken, and always carrying a small sketchbook under his arm. While other kids spent afternoons playing football or video games, Ethan spent hours sketching whatever his eyes could see. Old trees, broken fences, stray cats, or the way sunlight fell on rooftops. Drawing wasn't just a hobby for him. It was the only place where he felt understood. But the world around him, it didn't understand Ethan at all. His school teachers often told him, "Ethan, focus on real subjects. Art won't take you anywhere." His classmates laughed to him and said, "Bro, why do you draw all the time? Nobody is going to hire you for this." Yet Ethan kept sketching. One chilly evening, Ethan gathered courage and applied to a local art academy, the Hillsford School of Visual Mastery. His mother, Claire Ward, supported him with a warm smile, but his father, Mr. Adrian Ward, a factory supervisor, didn't believe in this dream. "Art?" he scoffed. "Art doesn't feed families, Ethan." Still, Ethan applied. Weeks passed. Then the letter arrived. He tore it open with shaking hands and read the single word typed in bold. Rejected. The letters blurred. His throat tightened. For a moment, he felt the world closing in. But then something strange happened. Something that would change his entire life. He smoothed the letter, walked to his room, took a pushpin, and placed the rejection letter on his wall. Not out of anger, not out of sadness, but out of something deeper. Acceptance and quiet determination. He whispered to himself, "This is not the end. This is the beginning." The next morning, Ethan woke up and stared at the letter pinned on his wall. It looked like a wound, but it also looked like a start. That same day, he applied to 2 more art programs, 2 online courses, 2 community exhibitions, to youth workshops. And the results came in rejected, 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 rejected. Every letter, every email printout, every slip of paper, Ethan placed them on the wall. Slowly, the wall began to fill. First a corner, then half, then almost the whole wall. Whenever someone asked, "Why do you keep these?" Ethan simply replied, "Because they remind me I am trying." Most kids kept medals. Ethan kept rejections. But inside him, a quiet transformation was happening. Every rejection made him stronger. Every no sharpened his desire for a yes. Every failure made him better. He observed his drawings. Old ones looked childish, unbalanced, rough. But as months passed by, his lines grew sharper, his shading deeper, his imagination wilder. The boy who collected rejections was becoming an artist. One day, a new art teacher joined Ethan's school, Ms. Isabella Green, a young woman with bright red hair and eyes that always looked like they were searching for something more. During her first class, she walked past Ethan's desk and noticed him sketching a bird. Not a simple bird, a detailed, vibrant, emotion-filled drawing of a bird struggling to fly with an injured wing. Isabella paused. She leaned closer. "Who taught you shading like this?" she asked softly. Ethan shrugged. "Nobody. I just practice." The teacher felt a spark inside her. This boy had raw talent, the kind that couldn't be taught. After class, she asked him to stay. "Ethan, have you ever applied to art academies?" He nodded. "And?" He quietly replied, "My wall is full of rejection letters." Isabella stared at him for a moment, shocked, confused, heartbroken, impressed. "Show me," she said. Ethan hesitated, but she insisted. So after school, she walked with him to his small apartment. The moment she entered his room, she froze. The wall was covered from top to bottom with rejection letters, organized neatly, pinned in rows. It didn't look like the wall of a failure. It looked like the wall of a warrior.
She turned to him and said, "Ethan, this is not a wall of rejections. This is a wall of courage." Those words hit him like sunlight breaking through clouds. She continued, "Tomorrow, we start training you properly." For the next 2 years, Ethan trained under Isabella. She taught him techniques he had never heard of: perspective, composition, contrast, anatomy, storytelling through art. But she taught him something even more important. Great art is not drawn with hands. Great art is drawn with patience and pain. Ethan poured everything into his drawings: his fear, his loneliness, his hope, his hunger, his dreams. His rejection letters were no longer reminders of failure. They were fuel. Slowly, Ethan's art began getting noticed. He won a small-town competition. Then he placed third in a state event. Then a local gallery invited him to showcase his sketches. Still, major academies continued rejecting him. Still, letters came in. Still, he pinned them one by one. His father, once doubtful, now stood silently in the doorway sometimes, staring at Ethan's wall, confused by his son's stubbornness, yet slowly growing proud of it. When Ethan turned 18, he applied to the biggest art academy in Europe, the Royal Academy of Creative Arts, Vienna. It was legendary. It was prestigious. It was nearly impossible to get into. But Ethan didn't care. Months passed. Then one morning, a letter arrived from the academy. Ethan's heart trembled as he held the envelope. His mother watched anxiously. His father stood behind, silently praying in his own way. Ethan tore it open and read the words, "We regret to inform you." He stopped reading. His vision blurred. His chest tightened. Another rejection. A part of him expected it, but another part of him broke. For the first time in years, he didn't pin the rejection letter. He folded it and kept it aside. Isabella visited him that evening. He showed her the letter silently. She sat beside him and said 4 words he would never forget. "Then make them regret it." Ethan didn't pin the letter that day. He framed it, not as a wound, but as a challenge. He took a deep breath and decided he would not apply to any academy again. He would create something so extraordinary that the world would have no choice but to see him. For 6 months, Ethan disappeared from social life. He locked himself in his tiny room and created his greatest artwork, a mural-sized drawing called The Wall of Becoming. It wasn't just art, it was his story. A boy standing beneath a mountain of rejection letters, a boy climbing, a boy rising, a boy becoming. When he finished, he sent a digital copy to a local exhibition. They rejected it. He smiled and pinned that rejection too. Then he uploaded it on social media with a simple caption. "Every rejection I received gave birth to this." He slept, exhausted. When he woke, everything had changed. The post had gone viral. Millions of likes, shares, comments. Artists from around the world were praising him. News channels were covering him. The story of the boy who collected rejections spread like wildfire. And then an email arrived from the same academy that rejected him. The Royal Academy, Vienna. Subject line, "We would like to offer you a scholarship." Ethan stared at the screen, trembling. But he didn't cry, he didn't shout, he didn't jump. He simply walked to his wall, found an empty spot, and pinned the Academy's new acceptance letter right next to their old rejection letter. Then he whispered to himself, "Every rejection has a purpose, and every no is just a yes waiting for its turn." In life, people will tell you that you're not good enough. The world will shut doors on you over and over again. But the truth is simple. Rejection is not the end. Rejection is direction. Rejection is preparation. If you keep moving, keep trying, keep improving, one day the world will open the right door for you. Just like it did for Ethan Ward, the boy who collected rejections until rejection collected him into greatness.